Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. Firstly, here's my t-shirt, Keep Calm and Cast On, Passion Flower, made by my uncle, just a one-off screen print, which I really love to wear. And also, as you can see, I have had a haircut, got the whole fringe thing done, which I'm just getting used to. It was only cut a couple of days ago, so this is still the hairdresser's styling. So it might take me a little bit to actually get it done flat and proper myself for a little while. You know how that goes. But I was thinking about doing a fringe for quite a while, and I just decided to take the plunge this week and do it. And so far, I'm really liking it. But as I said, I haven't actually had to style it for myself yet. So stay tuned. Next week might be a completely different story, and I'll be wearing headbands and beanies for a little while. We'll see how we go. So over these past couple of years, I've talked a lot about moving the sheep from their current paddock to the grass area and back again, and trying to manage the grass across those two. It's been quite dry the last few weeks, and we know it's going to be quite a dry, hot summer. So in order to help these paddocks, we actually made a decision this week to move them somewhere else. Now, I had talked about the possibility of adding some more sheep proofing around an adjacent paddock to where they are. But that's going to be quite a big job and not something we're going to be able to do in the short term to actually get them to be in a grass area now. And we don't just want to be feeding them on hay and have them completely wreck the grass where they are. So we've moved them out of these two spaces here by the shed, and they're now much closer to the house, which is a little odd, actually. It's weird not having them around here. And it's actually weird being able to step out my front door and have them only a couple of meters away and just go, hi, good morning. And they see me when I come home from being out somewhere. It's nice. And it'll be weird when they come back here, actually. But they're definitely enjoying the space they're in. They had been in there before when they were quite little, just for a little while we were doing some stuff with their fence in this paddock out here. And Nasty was fine with them then, but we weren't sure if now that because they're grown, if he would have an issue with them or if he would be fine. He's the Almarima who looks after the chickens, and he also has a goat in with him as well. So we thought he's probably going to be okay. It's just if he's more protective of the goat that he's sharing an area with over the sheep. But he seems to be fine. They're not actually in the same fenced in area. What we've got within that space is actually five little pockets of fenced in spaces, all that's got chicken wire that we can sort of configure with gates and fences in a whole lot of different ways to move the animals around through those spaces. So we brought them into the first gate, the one closest to their own paddock. Adam and I did it one at a time. We got rope and like wrapped it around their middle, so like their belly and behind their front legs, just more as a guide than anything else, just to stop them from wandering off. Not that we thought and that they would actually really go anywhere. It would be more that they would get distracted by the grass just around or get spooked by something. So he sort of did the leading, and I went in front and just kind of encouraged them to come. And they were not that hard to move. So first we did Vito. Second we did Hurley, who literally like ran from one space to the other. He was like, yeah, let's go. And Evie was then like barring because she was by herself and didn't know where the boys had gone. But then when we wanted to move her, she was like not as keen to actually move. But she again wasn't actually that difficult to move, but she was probably the hardest out of the three, which I was actually quite surprised about. I thought she'd just want to like basically run to follow them, and I think she just got a bit confused as to exactly what was going on. So now we started them in the area where the clothesline is, and then we sort of opened up another little bit, and now we've moved them into where the chickens are. So they're sharing the space with the chooks right now. So it's actually a good way to get that grass down without having to get the mower in, and to use that grass in a really productive and great way and save the grass out here and hopefully get it to grow a little bit. So we've got some misty damp weather today. It was raining yesterday morning and then we had sun in the afternoon. So if we get a few of these kind of days where we get some moisture on the ground and then we get some sun, but not too harsh, we'll hopefully get that grass growing back here quite well. And then once they've eaten down in there, which may take a while because it is quite long and there is a number of areas that we can sort of move and rest them through, then we can bring them back in here and supplement with hay, and hopefully that will be a good solution, and we can potentially do that again over the year now that we've sort of actually thought about the possibility that we can do that. So that is my latest sheep story. We also got a big pile of mulch delivered this week, which we'll be spreading out over the shed garden, the trees that we've got in here behind the tank, and around the garden, around the house as well. I need to do some more weeding out here. Mum and I did a little bit last week. I just need to finish off doing that and sort of trim everything back so that then we have a real plan of where that mulch is going to go. And that will help with this predicted hot, dry summer to keep a little bit of moisture and protection into the ground in our garden areas. This past week, I taught a one-on-one sock class at Unwind Craft Cafe, which was really good. Something a little bit different to just do that sort of one-on-one rather than group class. So I do offer that through them. They take the bookings and then they have a series of teachers that they can then call on to find their availability for particular dates based on the skills and things that we actually teach. I also have a class coming up there on the 9th of December in the morning, which is a fixing mistakes and tips and tricks class. So it'll be about picking up drop stitches, changing a knit to a pearl and a pearl to a knit, doing jogless stripes, some different cast on and bind off techniques, and sort of a class where people can also bring some things that they're having some problems with or questions about, and we can work through it together and actually come up with a solution and help them to be happy with their project. So that should be a really good class. So if you're interested in that one, I'll leave a link below to the booking information so that you can go ahead and grab your ticket. And all I have worked on this past week is socks. I've just gotten really excited about it. So I finished the sock I showed you last week with the slightly different heel. I don't think I brought it over. No, I didn't bring it with me, but I'll pop a picture in here. So it is finished, a single sock with a slip stitch heel. I'm really happy with how that turned out. It'll be interesting to see how it wears. I think I'm going to give it to my sister along with the other single socks that I'm making. And speaking of single socks, I've cast on another one. And what I've discovered is it's actually going to be great to use up some of that stash sock yarn that I have left. I've sort of got these smallish balls, not big enough for 2 pairs of socks, but probably too big for just heels or cuffs or whatever. So it's actually working out really well that I can do a toe-up sock and use like the entire ball to finish, and then I'm going to have less scraps and less sort of random size balls laying around. And then if I need to add a little bit extra at the top, it really doesn't matter in a different yarn. Since these are odd socks anyway, it's not like it's going to have to match with anything. So I cast on this one this week and I've done quite a lot on it. It's almost to putting in the heel, just a few more rows. And I also did some work, especially yesterday in the sock class that I was teaching. I worked on my 2 at a time socks that I have going. And again, these ones just sort of come out when I'm at markets or at sock classes, so that I can explain the 2 at a time socks, and also because it's in my yarn as well. So they got a little bit of love this week as well. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and look forward to seeing you next week on the farm.